I mean, what you're looking at is there's a whole range of actors, investors, regulators, who are looking for the business world to begin to take environmental and social issues into account from the risk side and from the opportunity side. So it's clear that the reporting we've got now that feeds into our accounting processes is inadequate. It's perhaps reporting and accounting techniques that were developed in the 19th, 20th century. The world's moved on. We've got many public policy issues which are coming to the fore, whether it's climate change or water scarcity, resource depletion. And we need a form of reporting which begins to reflect the price of these issues. So you're getting a fuller accounting of how the world really works, not how a one-dimensional view of the world in economic terms plays out. I mean, the accounting world itself isn't unified. You've got different types of accounting systems, whether it's in North America or Europe or Japan. So we're not starting from one specific standard. So I think you've got issues around how different parts of the world account for things, how different systems work, and at the same time, we've got complex environmental, social, human rights issues that need to be brought into the process of quantifying risk, of pricing on natural assets. So you've got a lot of complexity there. And that's a challenge, particularly when you're working across cultures. We all have our ways of doing things, and there's a diversity, and that's good, but we are trying to come to one common, global, integrated accounting and reporting framework, and that is very challenging. Well, I think one thing that the Prince of Wales has done is convene a group of very powerful business people, regulators, and obviously, many of the leading accounting bodies. So you've got great expertise in the room. There are complex issues on the table. They've got to be unwound and put back together. And the group is about as good as you can get in terms of, I think, thought leadership and experience. So the constituent parts are in place, but that then it doesn't deal with all the complexity. You've got the right people in the room, and that's important. Well, essentially, one of the big drivers is that you've got long-term investors, pension funds, insurance reserves, sovereign wealth funds, people who have to think about growing and protecting assets for the long term. That investor group is an example of one group that wants to understand a fuller range of risks. They want them accounted for, and they want them built into the system. So we're seeing building pressure from different parts of the investment world for a deeper understanding of the risks that are connected to the assets that they have to manage and grow over a period of time. So I think there is a convergence of pressures in terms of policymakers, looking at climate change, looking at resource depletion, looking at issues around natural capital and how that's accounted for. You've got the investor community who are beginning to understand that some of the changes that are taking place in the world will impact economic value. So there's the convergence of a demand for more integrated reporting. And I would say within 5 years that the issues we're dealing with now in this group will have been mainstreamed, and that we will see a much more sophisticated form of reporting by corporate entities around the world. We really think that you need to price and account for a broader range of environmental and social issues in our economic system, and that capitalism and the markets will work best if you do that type of accounting, so that there is a price put on our natural assets, on nature, on the very substance that a lot of economic activity draws from. And I think that what has happened with the International Integrated Reporting Committee is a coming together of a very experienced group of people to redefine the way we account for the fundamentals of our economic system. I mean, at the end of the day, all of the resources we draw from for economic activity come from one planet, and we need to account for that planet effectively. And that essentially is what the integrated reporting process is looking to achieve. Very complex, very challenging, but the right people are in the room. And at the end of the day, if we account more effectively for the way we use the planet, well, it will last longer and it will provide benefits for more people over time. So it's not just about this generation, it's about future generations. And the work is as fundamental as that.